Echo 244.com. What single quotes is happening between America and India right now in the world's biggest geopolitical backyard? And I'ma break it down for you like I'm talking to my own family on Family Feud Friday night. Asterisk adjusts imaginary suit jacket. Silent stare. Then back to you. Asterisk. We got the United States slapping a 50% tariff on Indian exports. Yeah, 50%. That's not pocket change. That's a punch in the economic gut. The White House says it's a response to India's buying discounted Russian oil. And they ain't shy about turning screws to change who India calls its friends and trade partners. Business standard +1 now. Some folks might say, Steve, that's just trade policy. Nah, son, this is like your big cousin, tacking your bike, cutting the tires, then telling you owe him rent. Asterisk. And here's the part that makes Indian professionals across the globe shake their heads like they've been told there's no more dessert at Thanksgiving. The US slapped a $100,000 fee on new H-1B visas. Yeah, $100,000. That's not a visa fee. That's a mortgage down payment. Visa Verge. I'm talking about thousands of young Indians who had their eyes set on US tech jobs, dreams freshly ironed like Sunday clothes. Now looking at that price tag like, wait a minute. Am I buying a house or a work permit? That, my friends, is economic discrimination dressed up like immigration reform. Asterisk. Now while all this is going down, here's where it gets spicy. We got whispers and headlines all over that India's strategic orientation is shifting, leaning closer to Russia and China like cousins at a family reunion that have been through thick and thin together. Folks in Washington are squinting like Steve Harvey, trying to find the right answer on Family Feud, going, wait, when did this happen? Bloomberg.com pauses, raises eyebrows, adjusts suit. Asterisk. This ain't just about tariffs and visas, it's about trust. And when a country feels like it's getting a raw deal from its biggest trading partner, it starts looking for new neighbors to borrow sugar from. China and Russia. They've been standing at the fence like, need anything? We got plenty. And India's thinking real hard about that handshake. Asterisk. Now, real talk. Just last month, President Trump claimed he brokered a ceasefire between India and Pakistan. That's right. Said he put people in peace. India, they denied it. Like absolutely denied it. The Times of India, that's like telling your mama you saved her lasagna from burning. Then she walks in and says, what lasagna? Where's that credibility now? Asterisk. So, what do you have? Asterisk. You have a big OL cocktail of economic tariffs, immigration shakeups, diplomatic chest thumping, and nations rethinking who they're gonna call friends on the global playground. And folks overseas, especially in India, are scanning headlines like NFL coaches watching game tape. They see their exports, from textiles to gems, potentially cut by half in the US market. Mint. Look at me now. Silent stare. Back to you. Asterisk. This is the kind of stuff that doesn't just hit markets, it hits people. It hits jobs. It hits families. It hits trust between nations. And you better believe folks in New York, Mumbai, Bangalore, and Washington, D.C. are all asking the same question. Asterisk. Is this the end of the Indo-US economic era? Or the start of something much messier? Hold on to that thought. Coming up next, we're gonna dive deep into the why behind all of this raw political fire. Asterisk. I'm breaking down the real strategy, the economics, and the personalities tugging these strings in a way that makes sense to you, not just the pundits. Scene the script. Hold and sit right there. Don't move, because now we gotta talk about the WHY. Asterisk. Look at me. This didn't just fall out the sky like rain on a picnic. This is calculated, baby. This is chess, not checkers. And right now, India is playing Chinese checkers, while America thought everybody was still playing Monopoly. Asterisk. Steve Harvey. Pause. Slow head tilt. Silent stare. Asterisk, here's the truth. Nobody wants to say out loud. The United States doesn't like when its partners start acting like they got options. India's been buying Russian oil at discounted prices since the Ukraine war shook the world. Cheap energy keeps factories running, lights on, inflation lower, and America said, "Nah, we don't like that." Not because it's illegal, but because it weakens us pressure on Russia. Asterisk. So what do you do when talk don't work? You hit the wallet. At 50% tariff. That's America saying, if you won't listen to us politically, you're gonna feel it economically. Indian exports, textiles, pharmaceuticals, auto parts, gems suddenly become too expensive in the US market. And once prices go up, guess what goes down? Orders, jobs, growth. Asterisk, now watch this. This where Steve leans forward. India didn't panic. India didn't beg. Asterisk, India said, "Oh, so that's how you want to play." Asterisk, and boom, reciprocal trade threats. Same energy back. Because when two grown adults argue, nobody likes the one who thinks only they can raise their voice. Asterisk. But that ain't even the real problem. The real problem is energy and food security. India wants freedom to buy oil, gas, fertilizer, and defense equipment from whoever gives the best deal. Russia, Middle East, China, anybody. The US wants India locked into its system. Same suppliers, same rules, same leash. And then came the GM crop disputes. America pushes genetically modified crops hard. Corn, soy, cotton, big ag money behind it. India, cautious. Farmers worried. Politics involved. Food sovereignty on the line. So negotiations stall. Frustration builds. And Washington starts thinking, why are we carrying this relationship if they won't fully open up? Steve Harvey eyebrow raise. Now let's talk about that. $100,000, H-1B, visa fee. You gotta be kidding me. That's not immigration control. That's a filter for the rich only. Indian IT firms built half of Silicon Valley's back-end systems. Engineers, coders, data scientists, suddenly told, pay up, or stay home. Asterisk, and guess what happens next? Those companies don't disappear, they relocate. Asterisk, India says, cool, we'll build tech hubs here. We'll work with Europe. We'll work with the Gulf. We'll work with China, if we have to. And just like that, America starts losing talent without even seeing it leave. Now here's where it gets real uncomfortable. China and Russia are watching. All this like neighbors sitting on the porch, sipping tea, saying, just wait, don't rush. China offers infrastructure. Russia offers energy and defense. Asterisk, no lectures. No moral sermons. Just business. Asterisk, and India. India says, we're not breaking with the US, but we're not depending on you either. That's the shift. That's the moment. Asterisk, and when President Trump jumps in talking about brokering in India-Pakistan ceasefire, and India straight up says, nah, that wasn't you. That's not just ego clash. That's diplomatic distance. Asterisk, that's India saying, we handle our neighborhood ourselves. Steve straightens tie. So now you got trade pressure, visa pressure, energy pressure, diplomatic pressure all stacking up like plates at a church potluck. Something was gonna fall. And what fell was trust. This ain't anti-America. This ain't pro-China. Asterisk, this is India saying, we're big enough now to choose. And when any nation reaches that stage, the world order starts shifting. Now stay with me, because in part 3, I'm gonna tell you what this means for regular people, workers, students, small businesses, and where this road is headed if nobody blinks first. Asterisk, don't go nowhere. I'll be right back. When trade wars happen, rich folks argue on TV, but regular people feel it at the grocery store, on the job site, and in that email, saying, we regret to inform you, asterisk, that 50% tariff, That means higher prices in America. That means fewer export orders in India. Asterisk, that means factories slowing down, overtime disappearing, and small businesses wondering why the phone stopped ringing. Asterisk, and that H-1B fee. That means students rethinking their future, families sacrifices. Asterisk, and America slowly teach the world how to build tech without America. You don't lose talent overnight. You lose it quietly, one decision at a time. Asterisk, now for India, this pivot toward Russia and China. It ain't emotional. It's insurance. Asterisk, when one door starts closing, you don't stand there knocking till your knuckles bleed. You build another door. Asterisk, energy deals with Russia. Keep inflation down. Asterisk, trade with China. Keep supply chains moving. Asterisk, defense. Diversification keeps leverage balanced. Asterisk, that's grown folk. Geopolitics. Asterisk, but here's the danger. And this where Steve gets serious. Asterisk, when the world splits into camps, cooperation turns into competition, competition turns into pressure, pressure turns into miscalculations, asterisk, and miscalculations. That's how history gets ugly. America still needs India for Asia strategy, tech supply chains, counter-terror balance. Asterisk, India still needs America for markets, innovation, global finance. Asterisk, but pride. Pride can mess up a perfectly good relationship. Steve Harvey stare. Long silence. Audience imaginary claps. Asterisk, so what happens next? Either both sides cool down, renegotiate tariffs, rethink visa policies, and rebuild trust, or asterisk, the world keeps drifting toward regional power blocks, where everybody says we're fine while quietly preparing for harder days. Asterisk. And let me tell you something real clear. Asterisk, when big countries argue, small people pay the bill. Asterisk, so if you're a student, a worker, an entrepreneur, don't sleep on this. Asterisk. Learn skills that travel. Build networks beyond borders. Stop depending on one country, one company, one system. Because the world don't owe you stability. You gotta adapt.